Hey there, Fit Fam. Welcome to the only podcast where we're breaking the mold and rewriting the rules. I'm here to debunk the myths, spill the tea, and serve a hefty dose of reality. No matter where you're at in your journey, we've got something for everybody. So buckle up because we're about to unleash the basics in the most unapologetic way possible. From shedding pounds to embracing your inner badass, I'm here to remind you that skinny is so last season and the basics are anything but boring. So grab your favorite piece of protein and your water bottle and get ready to be empowered, entertained, and educated because being a basics bitch has never looked this good. Welcome back to another episode of Don't Call Me Skinny. Super excited to be here with you today, as I am every time I arrive. If you get something from this podcast, you want to shout it out, share it from the rooftops. If what I say is helpful for you and all the things, I would greatly appreciate for you to screenshot and share this with your BFF, your aunt, your cousin, your sister, your mom, your coworker, your barista. I don't know. What else do we have in our lives? I don't know, your favorite eyebrow girl, your hairdresser, whoever might need to hear this. I would greatly appreciate you to screenshot share this and get out into the universe, you guys. I'm only by word of mouth, and I appreciate all of those that tune in each day. Each time I record and drop something, you guys give me some great feedback, and I just really appreciate you guys being here. So, but that would be super cool of you to do as well. So thanks those that do that. I appreciate y'all. So we have we are just doing like rinse and repeat, which I talk about is so great right now. Fat Loss Basics you can get into. That's a group coaching program. Links in the show notes to sign up. And then Basics on Demand, that's also available to you as well. If you are local to me, I got a couple of great things coming up. September 18th, I am speaking at the Moms in Business event. That is, if you're interested in that, go to my social media. You're going to be able to buy a ticket to get into that. I am speaking about how the basics of health translate into the basics and a thriving business. Then on the October 19th, it's like, I'm just wild and crazy here with all my speaking stuff. I am going to be speaking at an event called Fire and Ice, which is for actual teens and moms, high school and older. And you are welcome to come in or just if you don't even have a teen, it's okay. You can, as a woman, you can still come. You don't have to be a mom actually, but it is like geared towards just like women's empowerment, but we're bringing in younger girls. So even if you have like a niece or a younger cousin or something like that, and you want to, or people that you mentor or something like that, that would be cool. That's us, Sunday, October 19th. And I am speaking about body image. And I'm really excited to do both of those things. So those are options, guys, that you can come and hang out with me and give me a little squeeze hug because I love that. So we are getting into today. I don't know why I did that little pop thing with my lips, but we're doing it. We're going to talk today about why you regain the weight back that you lose. And this is super common. And it was me. This was the story of my life. I do all the things, lose the weight, gain it back. Maybe not all the weight, but I would lose some weight, then I'd gain back and then some. And then I'd lose some weight and then I'd gain it back, right? Minus the fact that this does fuck up our metabolism. It's not because of our metabolism, right? That's one reason why a lot of people think that we lose weight is because of our metabolism. And it's not true. Or that we regain the weight. Sorry, not that we lose the weight, but we regain the weight because of our metabolism. It's not true. Actually, your metabolism slows the most. This has been proven like time and time again. Before you're like 22 years old, it slows the most. It will still slow and whatnot as you age, but the majority of that happens before like most people have kids. So, but the metabolism is not it. Other reasons that people blame, and they love to point the finger as to why they regain weight back. It's because of their thyroid. It's their gut. It's all the fucking food that we eat when we have people yelling at you in the grocery store. Don't eat the Oreos. Bullshit on bullshit on bullshit on bullshit. It's just not true. It's not the processed foods. I'm not saying that they're great for you, but trust me, if you're not doing the basics of health, but you think that you're going to get away with fucking, well, I'm not eating red dye. Good for you. Good job. I'm proud of you. We don't eat red dye in my house either. So great job. It has nothing to do with your weight. Okay. And some of you actually might just believe that you're lazy. That actually came up today in a Facebook comment. And I thought that was interesting. Wildly, they called themselves out as lazy. And I'm like, are you actually lazy though? I don't really think the majority of people are lazy. their capacity. Their capacity is full. And I think that that's important to distinguish the difference between what being lazy is and what being like having a full plate is. It's literally not the same at all. So we're going to talk about this, and it's my pleasure. Here we go. Buckle up, ladies. Okay. Here's one reason why you regain the weight back. You don't fucking choose a diet that you can do forever. Okay. We should never really change our food actually from when we're dieting to when we're not dieting. Now, I will say that I do swaps. Like a lot of times I'll use Greek yogurt instead of sour cream. I might do a bunless or a half of a bun if I'm having a hamburger. That's not every time I have a hamburger though. Okay. Just to be clear, right? There are many kind of swaps that I would do specifically, but my food as a whole in general, the food itself doesn't change, right? A lot of times we get rid of the Doritos, we get rid of the Oreos, we get rid of the bread, we get rid of the pasta, we get rid of the rice, we get rid of the carbs, we get rid of all the things. And my diet doesn't change. The size of what I consume does, right? Because it's definitely going to be portions, understanding that. It's going to be understanding what that looks like, but it's not the food itself. I still eat rice and potatoes and steak and chicken and broccoli, and I still eat chocolate, and I still eat bread, and I still have sandwiches. I'm trying to think of what else I eat. Spaghetti, tacos. Like I still eat all these things. Okay. The amount of which I eat them. And here's the deal. The amount, that wasn't even a finished thought. The amount at which I eat them is what changes. The size, the portion in which I eat changes. And here's the deal. If you have to completely revamp, overhaul, and change all the fucking shit that you eat to lose the weight, that's how you have to keep eating to maintain the weight loss, which is why typically the diet that you choose that is shit to lose weight on doesn't work for long term because you can't consistently not eat fucking carbs. Why? Because you like to have cake with your kid's birthday. You like to go out for ice cream with your family. I just like a fucking baked potato. Who else likes a baked potato? I like a nice baked potato with some sour cream, a little bit of butter, a little bit of cheese on top. I love that. Some of you might add bacon and chives and all things. I love a solid baked potato. Guess what? If you cut out your carbs, you ain't having a potato. Okay? No potato for you. Hot potato. So you should not have to change everything. The diet that you choose should be the diet that you can do for a lifetime. I also like the language here is like, oh, I'm going on a diet. Okay. What diet? Like that is language is saying that we are changing and overhauling all of our food and I'm not allowed. That's not good because that means what happens when you start to reintroduce those foods again? Guess what? You're going to have a lack of control. And so therefore you're going to gain the weight back. Okay. When you reintroduce foods that you got rid of because they were bad foods, they're terrible, and you lose 27 pounds and then you're like, oh my God, I can eat all the things again. Oh my God. Hi, that's me. My name is Sarah. When I did Weight Watchers the very first time, I lost literally 27 pounds. That's kind of funny. I lost 27 pounds. And once I lost the weight and I started teaching again, I would stop on my way to school and buy a pound bag full of Twizzlers and I would eat them periodically throughout the day. I want everybody here, day. But man, that must have been my gut. Definitely it was postpartum because I just had a baby. So I definitely gained weight back from No, I gained weight because I was eating a fucking pound bag of Twizzlers almost every single day, which hearing it and saying it is kind of ew. Number one, that amount of like Twizzler, I don't even know what the texture of that is in my stomach and in my intestinal tract. Surely that was beneficial for me, right? Surely that was super helpful. Okay. But that's the problem. Once I stopped Weight Watchers and I stopped going and I stopped tracking, I had to completely rechange how I ate because I was in such a low calorie deficit on Weight Watchers that I couldn't maintain it by not doing anything differently. Like what I mean by that is like I had to completely change how I ate off of Weight Watchers because I wasn't tracking anymore. So once I stopped tracking, I didn't know what the fuck I was supposed to be eating, because half the food that I would eat, like fat-free, nasty ass cheese that never melted on your nachos, fucking disgusting. Can't believe I ate that shit. I stopped eating that. So what happens? I put on all this weight back because I plugged my whole body of calories. So if you have to overhaul everything, then yeah, you're going to put the weight back on. All right. So reason number two. All right. You have to change your food relationship. This is something that I am going to not fucking stop talking about. It's something that I've been talking about now for a few months, but without this piece, you will always constantly regain the weight if you do not choose to look at food differently. If your mentality is food is good and bad, if your mentality is I'm not allowed, if your mentality, and these all kind of run together, right? All these things, because I kind of just talked about this, but your food relationship is everything. Every single thing. And I'm not going to talk about all my clients that I keep talking about, the same things that I keep saying, but you have to change the way you think about food. We have these people that are now yelling at everybody, seed oils are bad and canola oil is terrible and Oreos have pesticides and all this stuff. And it's like, no wonder why people feel the way they do about food, because we are perpetuating fear around all of it. Oh, all these things are terrible. They're no good. They're bad. They're all this stuff. And it's like, calm down. Like, life is not that serious. And, as I talked about, like, you're so worried about, the dyes that are in your food and how many ingredients are in your food. And it's like, man, if you just like looked at the shit and was like, hey, is this going to help me reach my goals? Does this make sense for me to consume? And went with it, it would be a lot fucking better. It'd be so much easier for you. Instead of trying to like figure out like, oh, it's ultra processed and blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, it's okay. It is okay. Like, if you're not also getting to the basics of health, then those extra things, it's like you're picking over, you're stepping over the dollar to pick up the nickel. Like, you're worried about the wrong fucking thing, right? You need to be worried about how food makes you feel, how to utilize it in ways that are appropriate, how to not let it have such a fucking stranglehold on your ass. How, like, this is important. It's imperative. And without it, you will regain the weight. I'm going to say it. I've said it before. Weight loss surgery, Optavia. I did a reel about that. I was like, these fuckers can't even choose a name for a program that people can pronounce. Like, is it Optavia or is it Optavia? I don't fucking know. That was literally a side note. But anyways, these programs, it doesn't matter because all it does is perpetuate a poor relationship with food. In the last 5 days, I've had 2 people. I've decided maybe I'm just becoming the coach that people find after they have weight loss surgery, and it fucking doesn't work, because that is who is finding me now. These are all the women that are reaching out to me now needing help. Why? As my one client who I do talk about her often, but as she has stated, let's see what she told me when I said, all of the people are finding me. I said in my post yesterday on Instagram, starting to think I'm the coach that women find after they have weight loss surgery and they are still struggling with their health. Literally, she said, ha ha ha, it's me. Okay. I said, 2 more people found me. She said, we are also messed up. We need major help. I don't know anyone who is healthy post weight loss surgery. And I said, well, of course they don't want my help because it's not fast. She said, give them time. Right. So because she has to change the way she thinks about food. This is my biggest fucking problem with most of those programs is they do not address the problem. And the problem isn't the food itself. It's the relationship. It's your belief behind the food. It has nothing to do with whether or not food is good or bad and how it functions in your body. It's the fact that you believe the food is good or bad. You give it authority. You give it moral value. It doesn't have moral value. It's a fucking Oreo in a package. You gave it moral value. Chicken is a fucking cut up bird in a package. You gave it that it's good. You gave it moral value that it's good. That's it. That is how that works. And it's wild to me that we just keep going on this kick, going on this space that this is how we have to believe and think about food and how we think that we're going to be able to maintain a weight loss after we truly believe these things about food, yet we can't stop eating them. We can't control ourselves around them. We can't, that's another one. I can't have chips in my house because I'll eat them all. I have potato chips, I have chocolate, I have ice cream, I have Oreos, I have all sorts of fucking shit, quote unquote, bad food in my house. It's all in my house. I'm not bathing in it. I used to. That used to be me. What happened? I do not allow food to have that kind of control over me anymore. Doesn't happen. Okay. That's number 2. Number 3, you literally, why you gain the weight back? Why you put the weight back on? Because you're just too busy to handle it right now. And I'm going to tell you this. If you can do it in the most fucking busiest, hardest season of your life, you'll be able to crush it at any time. And the problem is that you quit every single time life gets hard. Every single time life gets busy. Could you imagine living in a world where everybody just quit shit when life got hard, when life got busy? Could you imagine what kind of world that we would live in? I mean, I cannot imagine it would be a very fun one or a good one or a successful world that we would live in, because everybody is like, oh, it's hard, I'm quitting. How do you feel when your children say, oh, I'm quitting? Oh, that's too hard. 2 + 2 is way too difficult for me. I'm quitting. Oh, not how it works, right? You quit every fucking time life gets difficult. Life gets hard. Guess what? It's never going to change out. They say, like, I feel like I'm a fucking repeat person, but like, my one client, I actually met her in person last week, and I talked about this last week, of the fact that it's like, she's like, you're not wrong. Life just keeps happening. I got to figure this out. With life with life, just it's going to happen whether I want it to happen or not. Life's just going to keep happening, and I got to figure out how to figure this out. It's just it. It's going to keep coming at me. I got to figure it out. Yeah, exactly. Because what happens when you don't figure it out, and every time you fucking quit? Nothing changes if nothing changes. And you want to know what? You're really fucking good at quitting. We've already established that. You love quitting. You love it. You love it. It's your favorite of all time, of all things, to quit. Makes you feel good. It's a dopamine hit. It's just not going to be the thing that keeps the weight off by quitting. And that kind of goes back to even like choosing a diet. Like when you diet, it's like, oh, my diet's over. My diet now is ended. No. See, that's quitting, because you don't get to stop doing things. You still have to pay attention. You still have to be mindful. You still have to be aware of the things that you're doing and the actions that you're taking and your behaviors and all of you have to be aware of all those things. So when you just stop, when you just quit, which is like, oh, it's too hard. This is what happens. This is why choosing a diet that isn't sustainable doesn't work. Because when it gets too hard and overwhelming, you fucking bow out. You hit the what is it, hey uncle or whatever, you tap out. That's what happens. Yeah. Number 4, why you put the weight back on. You are only seeking validation from the scale. You are only seeking validation from the scale. I had a client message me the other day, and she put 4 pounds on one day. The scale went up 4 pounds. The next day, the scale went down. It didn't go out. It went down 4 pounds. She wanted to post on her Facebook page, I lost 4 pounds. There's no context there. The fact that she put on 4 pounds and the fact that then she lost 4 pounds, she really actually didn't do anything. She stayed status quo. She didn't gain or lose anything. And that's important because you're only seeking validation from the scale. So the moment that the scale goes up, you fucking quit again. Hey, number, was that 3? You quit. You're like, it's too hard. Here's another reason why you quit with the scale and you're seeking validation from it. You think that it owes you something. But I counted all my macros, Sarah. I drink all my water. I get in all my steps. I ate all my fiber. I pooped once a day. And I managed my stress and slept well. I did everything perfectly and the scale didn't move. It doesn't owe you fucking shit. It doesn't owe you a damn thing. It doesn't care. The scale doesn't give a shit how fucking great your macros looked. The scale doesn't give a shit how perfect your stress management was. Oh, great job bringing down your cortisol. Good job. Great job. Good job. It doesn't care. It doesn't fucking care. Okay? And you're only using it. So the moment that it doesn't do what you want it to do, you shut the fuck down. You put up a wall and you quit. Which leads into the all or nothing. The mindset of this space of I'm only good when I'm doing all of the things. But man, the moment that I don't get the validation that I'm seeking from the scale, then I quit. I mean, do you see how these are all interconnected? You don't get to have one of these without another. You choose a shit diet. You don't change your relationship with food. You quit when it gets hard. You quit when you don't get the validation that you want from the scale. And then because you live in this all or mindset, nothing, you either all or nothing mindset, you either do everything or you quit altogether and you put all of the weight back the fuck on. Simple. That is how this works. This is why you put the weight back on. This is why you cannot get consistent with anything. This is why you cannot continuously live a life that you love. This is why you keep staying stuck in cycles. This is why you don't think you're worthy. Because you have every red flag pointing at you going, the problem really, it's fucking you. And that's hard. It's like, oh, shit, I'm the fucking issue. Okay, I'm the reason why. At the end of the day, you're the reason why you put the weight back on. It doesn't matter anything else. I posted this the other day on my Facebook page. Of course, it didn't get a lot of likes because it wasn't, super controversial, unlike other things that I talk about, like fasting. God forbid you talk about fasting. Woo, the people will come the fuck out of the woodwork for that shit. But God forbid you put something super motivational. It's fucking crickets. But let's talk about the fact that your past, right, while it's valid and it gives you to where you are, it gets you where you're at currently in life. And I said this way more eloquently on Facebook, but like, it doesn't get to define you, right? So when I talk about putting the weight back on, yeah, I could blame the coach that I hired. I could blame, I wasn't honest. I wasn't this. She didn't help me. She didn't help me dig in here. Whatever. I can continuously blame that person, or I can just look inward and say, at the end of the day, it's fucking my fault. It's my fault. I got to fucking figure it out. I got to fix this, and not even fix it, but I got to change it if I want it to change. Yeah. Let's remove fix. Let's bleep that out. I got to change if I want to change. And I can't keep dwelling on the thing that happened, albeit it sucked, albeit it did put me into a really shit headspace, albeit lots of things. It's still not anybody else's fault but my own. I have to be responsible for my own self, my own actions. At the end of the day, it's my fucking problem. You can hire a mentor. If you hire me as a coach, and at the end of the day, you're not doing your fucking shit, it's your fucking problem. It is not my fault you're not tracking your food. It is not my fault that you're not fucking moving your body. It is not my fault you're not sleeping or managing your stress or eating protein or getting in your fiber. It is not my fault. I'm guiding you. It is not my fault. Just like it was not my coach's fault. I was listening to her guidance. I was doing all the things, but at some point I knew it didn't feel right for me and I did not speak up. That is on me. That's on me. So it doesn't matter. You can constantly point the finger outward, or you can start looking inward and going, why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep putting on the weight? What part of this is it? Am I not choosing a diet that's sustainable? Am I not changing my food relationship? Am I constantly quitting? Am I constantly seeking validation from the scale? Do I live in a world of all or nothing? The black and white, the this or that. And you want to know what? I'm going to say the majority of you that are listening to this right now are all fucking 5. You are all 5. Oh, if I can't get everything, I want nothing. Okay. Well, Jilly has baseball season, so, and I don't know who Jilly is, but we're going with it. She has baseball season, so it's just really, that's not the right time for me. I'm just really busy in my work. It's just not the right time for me. All of these things that keep coming up. Oh, I can't have Oreos. I'm on a diet now. I remember distinctly in February, I went to this event, this in-person event, and I can't have margaritas. I can't have the margarita. I'm on a diet. Okay. I mean, to not have a margarita because you don't want a margarita? Great. Do you have to limit your alcohol? Absolutely. But if it's the I can't have because I'm on a diet, and I don't care what the I can't have, insert whatever you want. The Oreo, the cookies, the donuts, the margaritas, the chips and salsas. Chips and salsa, my BFFs. If those things are true, then you have not changed your relationship with food. Therefore, number 2, you fit that bill. And you also fit bill number 1, which is you haven't chose a diet that is sustainable for you, period. Right? There's all of these things are intertwined. They go in a little circle, right? If I were to, it'd be like the recycle arrows, reduce, reuse, recycle, and it has those arrows that connects all those words. This is that. This is that. Not this or that, but this is that. Okay? These are things. So so Sarah, what do I do then? Well, you need to start picking a diet that you can do. If you can't do this diet for long term, and I'm talking long term, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, for the rest of your life, you shouldn't be doing it. Oh, I'm only keto 6 months out of the year. Fuck that. If you can do keto forever and that's the diet you choose, let's go. Wonderful. I'm so happy for you that you found something that works for you that makes you feel so good. Thank you. Move on. Like, I don't care. If it's sustainable and you can do it and you can stick to it, I don't give a shit what it is. Okay. Second thing, food relationship. We have to stop giving food moral value. It is not good or bad. It is fucking food. That would be like me saying, let's say I have a MacBook Pro and a Dell. I mean, and then not the singer, but the computer. Okay. And I get whatever. I'm just using, I'm from fucking 90s. Okay. So this is what I'm using. Okay. If I have these two things and I'm like, oh yes, a MacBook Pro and a Dell, are they both computers? Yeah. Do they do the same thing? Yeah. Might one be better in an area than another? Yeah. Might one look a little bit better than another? Yeah. Food is the same. Food is the same. One might be a little bit more nutritious. One might taste a little better. One might look a little better, but it's still fucking food. And we determine whether it's good or bad. Nobody else gets to do that, right? The food itself isn't saying, the Oreo package doesn't say, I'm bad, eat me. It's not what it says, okay? 3, doing it in the hardest part of the season, okay? If you can do it in the hardest part of the season and not quit and keep showing up for yourself in some way, shape, or form, you can do it forever. You can do it anytime. You can do it at the slowest time of life. It should be a fucking cakewalk then. Okay? Validation from the scale. If you only seek validation from the scale, it's going to be a forever problem for you. You will never get out of this. It's going to get twisted. You're always going to constantly end up quitting. It's what's going to happen. And number 5, I mean, this all or nothing. We have to live in the gray. I've done an entire episode living in the gray. I've done a masterclass living in the gray. That was part of my Getting Ruthlessly Consistent masterclass, living in the gray. I did a whole fucking 17-minute thing on living in the gray. If you can't figure out how to live in the gray, it's never going to work. And that's not me sitting here going like, oh, good luck living in the gray. Like, there are tactical things that you can be doing, actionable steps that you can be doing that you can live in the gray for. And it's wild to me that we are just continuously accepting where we are. And I'm going to say this. I said this last night on a group call. This is going to be what Friday No Filter is about. But I just want to be super clear here that staying where you're at, staying stuck, staying unhappy, staying in this negative mindset, in this negative space, in all these things that you claim that you don't, or that you claim that you want to move from, it's an option. You can do nothing. You can just stay right where you are. It's totally okay. Unless you want something different. And that's what Friday No Filter is going to be about, is staying where you're at. So if you got something from this, please screenshot, share it. Let people know that I am here. If they like to get yelled at on the daily or tri-weekly, I should say, let them know. And I would just greatly appreciate it. Fat Loss Basics, link in the show notes. Basics on Demand, link in the show notes. If you have questions, where and what you belong in and where you fit at, let me know. You might need more of like a private day of private coaching where we tackle one thing specifically, but you can find yourself still in a group coaching program or in the on-demand program. Like, those are still great options, but you might want a little support in a specific area. Maybe one of these, food relationship. Maybe you want something like that. Maybe the all or nothing is a crazy space for you to be in, right? Getting validated. These are all topics that we could talk about in a private mentorship space, okay? And you can get those one day, you can get like a 1-day pass or a 3-day pass, right? Like, these are options. So if you guys have questions about any of that, let me know. I hope you guys have an amazing hump day, because every day is a great day for a hump. Catch you on the next episode. Thanks so much for listening today. If you laughed, learned, or just felt a vibe, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Your support keeps this ass train chugging along. If you're ready to embrace the basics with a twist, follow me on social media. Links are in the show notes, and let's see the ways we can work together. All right, basics bitches, you're not just listeners, you're part of the revolution. Remember, skinny's out, basics are in, and you're looking damn good doing it. So until next time, stay basic.